Good night, I'm Lisa Lord, and in our news, efforts to make public transportation attractive in the face of gridlock on the island's roads. Barbadians living in the diaspora expected home in droves for Vision 2020 regathering. Fortress Caribbean is not investing in digital currency. And in sports, hundreds anticipated at the National Stadium for BSAC 2019.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC News Night, starting now.
In our top story, Barbadians were glued to their cell phones and computer screens yesterday when videos started to circulate showing what appeared to be a young girl tied with a rope being taken into a building while crying. Now, a female who was the one recording that video could be heard protesting what was going on. She was then approached by another woman who identified herself as a priest. That woman said that the girl has a devil. Here is the footage. Well,
she's your sister? Are you letting them do this to your sister? Alright. What's today's date? Today's the 10th, Sunday of March. At 10 past 3, y'all got a girl here rope talking about she got a demon. I just showing that they have this girl roped up. I just showing that they have her roped up. I already called the police. They said to record it.
Are you listening to me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm listening to you.
Priest, okay?
That's great for you, ma'am.
She has a devil.
She has a demon. Yeah. Great.
Well, our Shane Jones has been following that story for the entire day and joins us live now to bring us up to speed. Shane, what is the latest?
Well, Lisa, what I can say to you is that what you just showed our viewers, that video is now under police investigation. I was able to track down the person who filmed the entire ordeal. Her name is Olivia Gittings. She's a next-door neighbor. And she had just finished giving a lengthy and detailed statement at the request of the Royal Barbados Police Force when she spoke to me about what happened in that video that was viewed over 90,000 times on Facebook.
Explain to me exactly what happened yesterday.
I was home. My door was open because the TV repair guy was here. And I heard a commotion and what sounded like a child. But my neighbor has kids, so I just assumed that one of the kids had fell down. But then I heard it sound like, and I got up to see what was going on. And then when I first come out the door, I saw what looked like a lady was on the ground. And these two women looked like they were trying to help her up. So I turned to go back in my apartment, and then it was like, something's not right. So I came back out, and that's when I realized it was actually a little girl, and they had the rope around her feet and all around her chest and her throat. They were pulling her by the rope, trying to get her out, and she had her foot in the railing, trying to hold on. And so the lady in the white was pulling her, and the other lady was trying to lift up the bottom part of her.
How did that make you feel?
It hurts. It hurts a lot, because people see 30 seconds, but that was going on for 30 minutes, you know. And what shocks me the most is that she never asked for help. The little girl never asked for help. It's almost like she was fighting not to go in, but she didn't expect anybody to help her. And if it was me, I would like to think that people would have helped me.
What happened after that 30-second clip that most people saw?
After the clip, they were still adamant that they weren't going to stop, even when there was an off-duty cop that was here. Even when she asked them to stop, they didn't stop. She had to go home to get her badge and come back. But the fact that they were so adamant when multiple people were telling them what they were doing was wrong and they were abusing the child, that they didn't want to stop, that's why I posted it, because I felt like I didn't want this to be a situation where when the police come, they're already gone in and it is a he say, she say situation, and the little girl's voice needed to be heard.
So from what we have learned, Lisa, not only the police, but the Child Care Board is investigating the matter as well.
Now, Shane, it appears that the eyewitness was choking up as she recounted the events. How traumatic was that situation for her?
Well, I'd have to say very traumatic, Lisa. As you would have heard, she said the struggle outside on the stairs lasted over half of an hour. So you can just imagine what seeing something like that and feeling powerless could do to a person. In fact, she said that she cried most of last night and then again in the police station today. However, Lisa, it's always great when people like Olivia come forward. You know, as they say, you see something, say something.
Indeed.
Back to you, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Shane. Well, gridlock and congestion on the island's roads have been linked to the growing appetite by Barbadians to own a vehicle. More Barbadians are said to be owning cars, and Minister of Transport, Works and Maintenance, Dr. William Duguid, says that they're doing so at a much younger age. The revelation was made during the opening of the National Consultation on Domestic Transport, as we hear from Kishmar Senjus.
Imagine this scenario. For many, it is a daily occurrence on the nation's highways and intersections. Its impact is being felt in the schools and the workplace. Now, some insight has been provided as to how many vehicles are on Barbados's roads during the first national consultation on domestic transport. Minister of Transport, Works and Maintenance, Dr. William Duguid, says there are over 120,000 registered cars. There are also some 7,222 registered vehicles that provide transport for hire as of October 2018.
ZR 457, Maxi Taxi 783, minibuses 224, and 2,140 taxis. Hired vehicles 3,346. While the private sector accounts for over 70% of the daily commuting public, the Transport Board moves the remaining 30% or less. While the latter collects over $1 million in revenue each month, it is costing the taxpayers of this country over $5 million to run monthly. This is unsustainable by any stretch of the imagination.
Dr. Duguid says government must make difficult decisions and act decisively to lower vehicle growth and usage. The Transport Minister also wants public transport to be made attractive once again. He believes this is necessary given Barbados's size.
As more and more Barbadians own cars, it is clearly not possible for all of them to drive their cars to and from work every day. The only way to move large numbers of people efficiently in our densely populated city is by public transport. It is therefore critical that we make public transport much more attractive to the vast majority of Barbadians, including those who have access to cars. Second, the trade-offs that we are faced with have become much sharper. The more cars Barbadians own, the more extensive fuel tax coverage and the higher the charges would have to be. This is the key trade-off we have to make to maintain smooth flowing roads.
Dr. Duguid also thinks that radical growth is needed in the local transport sector. He says it has not kept pace with other sectors given its importance to Barbados's economy. Kishmar Senjis, Cbc News Night.
Well, tourism officials are expecting an influx of Barbadians from the diaspora for the 12-month celebration Vision 2020 regathering. Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley during the launch encouraged Barbadians by birth, marriage, citizenship, even by choice to embrace that initiative and come home next year. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., William Billy Griffith, says that the BTMI is already working on marketing for that event.
From a BTMI standpoint, we are already working on a magnificent new branding and advertising and working along with that ministry in terms of promoting for regathering. So that is an added dimension to our business that we anticipate in the coming year. We will start to promote that within the next month or so. So even in 2019, we anticipate that there's going to be an increase in visitors from our diaspora.
And Mr. Griffith revealed the island's other towns are in line for some much-needed product improvements.
We're pleased to be the recipients. This is tourism, the tourism ministry. We've received a $20 million loan from the IDB this year. And that's, to me, a significant amount of money. And 16 million of that 20 million is going to go towards product improvement. And that is going to be a fundamental boost to exactly how we go about and promote the island. And that's going to be primarily product improvement. So some of the initiatives, for example, is increasing the product in the UNESCO World Heritage Site, for example. There's a new heritage trail being built in Bridgetown and its environs. We are going to be looking at improving the Spikes Town and Whole Town and Oistins Town as well, with significant product improvements.
And we say hello now to our Sharika Griffith in our social media corner to tell us what is trending. Good evening, Sharika.
Good evening to you, Lisa, and welcome to What's Trending. Now, there was no shortage of things to see on social media over the weekend, including those 2 videos we told you about earlier, showing a crying girl with her hands and feet tied up, while 2 women tried to get the obviously upset young lady up a flight of stairs. Now, the videos have since been removed from Facebook, but several users reached out to Olivia Gittins, the young woman who posted them, to commend her for her actions. Carol Phillips believes she did Barbados a serious service by posting the video. She thinks that perhaps if more members of society used their phones for good rather than gossip, we would see an end to gun crimes in Barbados. Felicia Brown says she's happy that there are still good people who care about the safety of others, including children. But she suggested that perhaps next time the faces should be blurred, especially when minors are involved. Now, if you tuned in on Friday, you would recall we told you about one local supplier who is grappling with an enormous amount of stock as the April 1st start date for the ban on plastics draws closer. There's been mixed reaction to this on Facebook. Janelle Grandison Warner is suggesting a compromise of sorts, where the ban should apply only to the importation or production of plastic items from April 1st, while allowing companies to sell off their existing stock. Karen Russell, on the other hand, believes companies should consider exporting the remainder of their plastic stock to another country to minimize losses while sourcing the alternatives. But Vanderpool Taylor believes the ban was long in coming, and suppliers should have already made the change to alternative materials instead of finding themselves in this position. Now, every now and then, social media is taken over by one challenge or another, where people around the world undertaking a particular activity. We've had the Cinnamon Challenge, the Tide Pod Challenge, and more recently, the Kiki Challenge. Well, there's a new one that's actually encouraging people to do some good. The Trash Tag Challenge went viral over the weekend. And since then, hundreds of people have shared photos of themselves picking up litter in parks, streets, and on the beach, and trying to persuade others to do the same. Well, that's one challenge I wouldn't mind if it caught on in Barbados. Now, over to Trinidad, where former Minister of Health Ford Can has been accused of fat-shaming a plus-sized woman whose photos playing mass went viral. In the 2.5-minute-long video, Can accuses the woman of playing a victim and setting a bad example for others. Let's take a look.
You all are too fat, and you are forcing the fatness on the children of Trinidad and Tobago and the world because of the junk you're eating, no self-control, exercise is minimal, and you just use words like victimization and fat shaming and fat society. Shut up and lose the weight, or else you'll suffer from serious non-communicable diseases as you get older.
Well, Can has since indicated he's willing to apologize for his harsh tone, but says he stands by the substance of his statements. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for What's Trending this evening. Remember to send your comments to our WhatsApp numbers at 233-7388 or 233-7555, and our Facebook and Instagram pages, or to our email at nca@cbc.bb. But please remember to keep your comments clean, and we'll see you tomorrow for another look at What's Trending.
The 70 years of diversity and unity in the Commonwealth must not be allowed to falter. The warning from Anglican Bishop of Barbados, the Right Reverend Michael Maxwell, as he delivered the sermon during the Commonwealth Day observance service. Our Rianne Phillips has more.
Anglican Bishop of Barbados Michael Maxwell says the 53-member grouping is a healthy union that must not be destroyed by negativity.
It's because of vices such as antagonism, covetousness, egocentricity, violence, vengeance, infidelity, greed, arrogance, discrimination, exploitation. These are the kind of vices that cause bad connections and even disconnections arise. And these are the vices that we are to fight against and avoid even within our nation and among nations of this world.
Many officials, including Governor General Dame Sandra Mason and school children, attended the service. Delivering the Commonwealth message on behalf of Queen Elizabeth, Dame Sandra noted the group has made a difference over the past 7 decades.
We are able to look to the future with greater confidence and optimism as a result of the links that we share, and thanks to the network of cooperation and mutual support to which we contribute and on which we draw. With enduring commitment through times of great change, successive generations have demonstrated that whilst the goodwill for which the Commonwealth is renowned may be intangible, its impact is very real.
Following the service, there was a parade and flag raising at Parliament. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
The local Boy Scouts Association can look forward to benefiting from a leg up from the government. Minister of the Creative Economy, Culture and Sports John King pledged government support as that association celebrated another year of service to boys across the island with the Founders Day service at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium.
The gym was filled with scouts from across the nation's schools, all packed in to join in the celebrations. Patron of the Boy Scouts Association, Governor General Dame Sandra Mason was there, along with Chief Justice Sir Marston Gibson and many specially invited guests. After a worship session, little Tavon Boyce brought the gymnasium to its feet with a fantastic rendition of He'll Do It Again.
Do it again. Do it again.
Minister King says scouting works, and data shows they are more likely to embrace positive social values than their peers. He believes the Boy Scouts Association cannot operate as it has done in the past, that is, without the necessary support and manpower and financing.
There's a need for this organization to be able to provide the continued assistance to the young males of Barbados and guide them in achieving their full physical, intellectual, social, and spiritual potential as individuals, as responsible citizens, and as members of their local and national communities.
Minister King says the association is improving its profile by strengthening communication and partnerships.
I'm also equally aware of the modifications to their programs, which have seen training in HIV, substance abuse, first aid, and other non-scouting badges. We need to give the leadership of the Barbados Boy Scouts Association the assurance that we will assist them with the execution of the task of mentoring and molding these young lives. We need to assist in the preparation of these young men for leadership in their communities, in their churches, and also in their schools, teaching them that there are ways of meeting their challenges without the use of violence.
The Boy Scouts Association has been operating in Barbados for 107 years.